Wcxo, Carlisle.
This broadcast is a presentation of Wcxo Sports. Wcxo Sports. Since 1999, the sports voice of the Carlisle Indians, the Central Cougars, the Mater Dei Knights, and the Westland Warriors, presents Talkin Sports on Max 96.7. Talkin Sports is powered by Hoffman Supermarket, the only choice for quality meats and friendly service. Talkin Sports is brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in Centralia. Kaskaskia College. The future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. Diane Chevrolet in Trenton. McKendree University in Lebanon. Ideal Home Solutions in Trenton. Farmers State Bank Insurance Department in Hoffman. Seaver Brothers in Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers, with locations in Breeze and Highland, and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Here's the host of Talkin Sports, Rip Nottmeyer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talkin Sports. Rip here in the Carlisle Meat Market Studio for your midweek edition coming up tonight. In just a bit, we're going to talk to Cardinals baseball historian, sometimes author, Larry Underwood. From Arizona, the St. Louis native will join us, and also we've got Wcxo Warriors soccer coach Terry Calvert. He'll be in the back half hour. They romped to a victory last night in postseason play. Plus, as always on a Wednesday, we have the Easy on Travel Sports Flashback. It features Aviston Aces manager Dennis Rockers. It's almost time for Clinton County League baseball. We shall kick it off, though, with scores and stuff. It's brought to you by Isaac Auto Body in Carlisle. See them for 24-hour towing and collision repair. Jot that down in your memory bank. We'll actually begin with baseball. Hey, the Cardinals, well, they went 0 against the Minnesota Twins. The visitors completed the two-game dusting by beating the Cards 7-1 yesterday at Busch Stadium. Highlands' Jake Odorizzi had a big day, though. He keyed the Twins' win in the matinee. He went 5 solid, gave up just 1 run, a home run to Martinez in the first, only 2 hits over that 5. But, hey, 93 pitches, so goodbye. He was yanked. Clown Carlos was not good yesterday. 5 innings pitched, 4. Only 2 of those were earned, though, and he was due for, he had 6 consecutive outings, which were really, really solid. So, and he's still 3-2 with a 1.62 earned run average. So it doesn't work all the time, not even to the best of them. But next time, hopefully, Carlos will be on good behavior and pitch well. That's in his next outing. He was on good behavior. The Redbirds fly to San Diego for the first of 4 tomorrow night. It's Michaelis against somebody named Jordan Lyles. What happened today on the big league scene? Well, the Cubbies won. They pasted the Marlins 13-4. It was Cincinnati. Hey, they clipped the Mets in 10. The Metropolitans, oh, man. Yeah. It hasn't been going real well for the Mets as of late. They batted out of order in the first. A little lineup card snafu. I think they lost a run on that, too. I'm pretty sure. Texas nipped Detroit 5-4. That took 10. The Houston Astros continue to roam through everybody. They stuffed Oakland today 4-1. Garrett Cole, what a trade. First Verlander before the playoffs last season, and now Garrett Cole. That's a true rotation. He's 4-1. His earned run average is just a notch below 1.5 now at 1.43. 3 games on the interleague side of things. It was Cleveland over Milwaukee 6-2. Pittsburgh tripped up the White Sox 6-5, and the Angels shellacked Colorado 8-0. What's those standings? Well, we have Boston and the Yankees at the top of the American League Central with 25 wins apiece. The Astros are just a stroke behind at 24. If the Angels win, they're at 22. The American League has some real comers. Pretty tight in the National League, too. Of course, the Cardinals now a half game up on the Brew Crew and Pittsburgh. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh each with 21 victories. The Cardinals with 20. The National League East is very tight. And the Snakes out west doing very, very well. Off the field, well, last night it was on the field. James Paxton of the Mariners, He became the first Canadian to pitch a no-hitter in his home country. He shut down the Blue Jays 5-zip. Paxton joins Dick Fowler of the 1945 Philadelphia A's as the only Canadians to throw a no-hitter. And Fowler did that against the St. Louis Browns. Paxton is from British Columbia. He's called Big Maple, and that was the third no-hitter in the majors this year. All three have come in different countries. Let's see, one of the countries is Canada, one of the countries is Mexico, and the other country it's California. Oh, here's the problem. The Cubs play struggling pitcher Yu Darvish on the 10 DL because he has it's the flu. That's the situation. He's 31, he's sick, and so is his stat line at 0-3 with a 6 ERA. He was scheduled to start. Now I think I'll bow out of that one. Paxton had that real good game last night, and here's the flip side of that. Dylan Bundy, this give you a whiplash watching this as I did last night. He set a rather dubious modern-day record. He yielded 4 home runs and left without getting an out. That was part of a 10-run first inning against the Royals last night. Casey won at 15-70, marked the first time in the current area, 1908 or above. I'm not sure where they hashed that one out now. That a pitcher gave up 4 home runs in an outing in which he did not retire a batter. This is great. This is Matt Harvey. This is perfect. This might make him so mad. Maybe he will pitch better. I don't know. But he goes to the Reds. That ought to tick him off. He goes there for catcher Devin Mesoraco. Each of those guys needs a fresh start, and I suppose they're going to get it. He's only 29, but he was designated for assignment on Saturday, so the Mets had 7 days to trade or release, and they shipped him to the Redlegs. Good luck, Cincy, with him. He's such a keen guy. The Dark Knight is really no more. Maybe in time. The Yankees and Red Sox. What's happening with them besides winning baseball games? Well, in the near future, they're going to square off in 2 regular season games over at London Stadium. As a matter of fact, next year on June 29th and 30th, it will be MLB's first games in Europe. There'll be a capacity of 55 grand, and Manfred and Company are so excited. I don't see the big thrill there, and there's no need. Exhibition, yeah, but Rafael Palmeiro, and I'm going to do a Rip Sports clip on this tomorrow, but months ago I told you about he wanted to make a major league comeback. Well, he fell a little short, and I think that will continue. He'll be a little shy of that, but he is going to play with his son, 28-year-old Patrick, for the Cleburne Railroaders in Texas. He's 53. We'll have more on that tomorrow with Rip Sports Clip. Tune in just about all day long now, definitely after the 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock sports reports. In the National Hockey League, we've got a Game 7, no doubt a thriller tonight in Music City as the Predators host the Winnipeg Jets. Yep, it's notched at 3, and the winner moves on to face the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference Final. The other conference, the Eastern Conference, that slate is all set in the championship round with the Caps and the Capitals. The Carolina Hurricanes have hired former captain and current assistant Rod Brind'Amour as their new coach. Brind'Amour, as you recall, he played for the Blues. He was supposed to be a superstar. That's a rough tag to try and not everybody can envelop that. But he was a really good player, a steady player, had a nice career, and now he's the head coach of the Canes. In the NBA playoffs, 2 more teams clinched last night. The Rockets and the Warriors, each by 4-1 counts over the Utah Jazz and New Orleans Pelicans, respectively. So Chris Paul finally goes to a final, and, we're about set to go. Oh, yeah, we have to get rid of that Celtics 76ers, that matchup, and the C's will try and do that today at Boston. They're up 3-1. The new coach of the Charlotte Hornets is James Borrego. James Borrego, a long-time assistant of Greg Popovich. Of course, another one of his assistants, Becky Hammon, plans to interview, and it sounds like it's going to come true with the Milwaukee Bucks for their open coaching vacancy and open coaching job. That's pretty much for show. I would certainly hope so. No, I know her past, and I was happy to see her get an assistant job. That's fine. But head coach, NBA, I'd rethink. They're going to rethink that. We were kind of rushed Monday night, and that's okay, but we were late because of a baseball game, so I'll kind of re-emphasize this again. It was Justify won Saturday's Kentucky Derby. It was a rainy, muddy, mess, but Justify, the favorite, wins it. He's now 4-0, and his jock, Mike Smith. Big Money Mike. He's the second oldest Derby winner as a jock. He's 52. Bill Shoemaker was 54. He won Ferdinand. He rode him to victory in 1986. A woman in Texas, I believe it is at Retama Park near San Antonio, she won $1.2 million. That's the payday she got for betting on the Derby and in wagering on some other events at her local track. She hit on every one of her picks, all 5 picks. $1.2 million she got. Jason Day did win the Wells Fargo Championship. Eldrick was barely on that totem pole. I could barely tied for 55th. All right. Sung Young Park won the Volunteers of America Texas Classic, and Bernard Langer, he was good pro on the regular tour. He claimed the Insperity Invitational. And finally, as we turn to NASCAR and the speed, it was Kevin Harvick. He reached the checkered flag first. That was at Dover, Delaware. And, of course, golf and NASCAR will heat up again. Got a little rest for the ponies. And then, we got the Preakness and Belmont, and it's all Belmont and Preakness should be in that order, right? Yeah, have to get reacclimated. I believe that's right. Okay, that's Scores and Stuff. Brought to you by Isaac Auto Body. In Carlisle, no doubt, see them for 24-hour towing and collision repair. They'll get you done right. What's coming up? Larry Underwood on Cardinals baseball, Terry Calvert on high school soccer, and the sports flashback too. Sit tight. We're coming right back on Talking Sports for a Wednesday. Farmers State Bank is dedicated to the communities they serve. They've been making home loans for over 100 years. They are and will continue to be a strong, steady, common-sense leader that's always focused on what's best for you and the community. And remember, Farmers State Bank has loan professionals standing by to assist you in making the right decision for your needs. That's Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. An equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 404955. If you're looking for Nissan quality, be sure to check out what Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan and Centralia has to offer. Munkin's has the entire field covered with a great lineup of Nissans, including Maximas, Altimas, and Sentras, SUVs and crossovers, and Titan and Frontier trucks. And you can relax when you shop Munkin's because you know you're getting the better deal every time, along with terrific service after the sale. For your Nissan, log on to Munkin1.com, or better yet, visit Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in person, Route 161 West in Centralia. Need insurance? Insurance you can really count on? If so, turn to Dan Imming at Imming Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Dan and his staff will provide you with the insurance coverage and service you deserve. Whether it's auto, home, life, health, or commercial, your choices aren't limited either. Imming Insurance Agency represents many outstanding companies, so get covered by the best. Call Imming Insurance Agency at 594-4536 or stop by 589 9th Street in Carlisle. Imming Insurance Agency, a proud supporter of Clinton County sports.
Southern Bus and Mobility is your Brawnability dealer in Breeze. Brawnability features the broadest lineup of wheelchair-accessible vehicles with more brands, entry types, features, and price points than any other manufacturer in the industry. See for yourself at Southern Bus and Mobility why a new or certified pre-owned wheelchair-accessible Brawnability vehicle is the only way to go. Call 526-4131 or stop by just east of Breeze on Old Route 50.
Scientists say the universe is random. Why should your radio station be any different?
You've got Max 96.7.
Welcome back, everybody. Rip here in the Carlisle Meat Market Studio for this Wednesday. Every Monday and Wednesday, 6 to 7. Saturday mornings, of course, 9 until 10. Let's hit the Tucker Electric guest line for the first time tonight. Off we go for Scottsdale, Arizona. And Cardinals baseball historian, he's one huge enthusiast, Larry Underwood. Larry, welcome to Talking Sports here in Carlisle, Illinois. We're kind of on the banks of St. Louis.
Rip, it's good to be there. I feel like I'm there already.
And you are a St. Louis native, correct?
Yeah, I grew up in Kirkland, Missouri, suburb of St. Louis, and was a big Cardinal fan right out of the womb.
Yes.
And I moved to Arizona back in '81. And even though the Diamondbacks are now the big franchise out here, I'm more of a Cardinal fan than D-backs fan.
Yeah,
and I don't know why that is. It's just my blood. What can I say?
Of course. You probably slide over to the Dome once in a while, though, huh?
Yeah, every now and then. Now and then.
Okay, all right. Well, let's talk Cardinals. Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, let's hit the diamond for some Cardinals baseball talking. And, I mean, there's been a slug here and there, but for the most part, the Cardinals are having a good season. They did struggle against the Twins, who I think a lot of people overlooked. That's a pretty good club.
Yeah, the Twins aren't as bad as people claim they are. I think, the Cardinals, I think, just had a letdown after that tough Cubs series. I think they're emotionally maybe kind of drained or whatever, but what amazes me about this team is that they're doing so well, even though three of their hitters that were so good last year, mainly Matt Carpenter, Dexter Fowler, and Marcell Ozuna, they were all very good last year offensively, and this year, of course, they are having a really bad year.
It's a good thing they have a lot of games ahead. We need to need to pack their gear and get it going, and hopefully that's going to flip in their favor.
The fact they're 20-14 is amazing with those three guys struggling as much there. And of course, Fowler is a terrible defensive outfielder. Basically, he should be the fourth outfielder, and you got to have Bader in there every night, in my opinion, playing center field, because not only does he get on base at a pretty good clip for a leadoff hitter type guy, he's also by far the best defensive outfielder the Cardinals have. Maybe even in the major leagues, he might be the best defensive outfielder in the major leagues.
He's
in
pretty
limited
slick.
Play, of course.
He is pretty slick, no doubt about that.
But he's made some incredible plays this year already.
Yeah, just recently again. But over time, I don't know. Well, at some point, they're going to have to make a switch, you would think. It is, I suppose, all those averages now, they're down pretty low. It's going to, it takes a while to bounce them up now. When you're in the 170, 180, so forth.
There's still 80% of the season left to be played, but at this point, my concern with Fowler is not necessarily his offensive struggles, but he just is terrible in the field. You can't put him anywhere in the field. If the Cardinals had the DH, and only batting left-handed because he can't hit right-handed anymore. I think he's been like one for his last 30 or whatever it is. Is a right-handed hitter.
And it sure seems like that. So that's probably right. And he's at 150, and Carpenter's right there. So I don't know. Now the overall, though, like you say, with the record and looking good through the first month plus, and I know you're much higher on the team than probably most are. Although I've got him tagged as an 89 win team in a wild card, but you went above that, didn't you?
Yeah, before the season started, right. I picked them as 90 plus wins. I came in with 94, just to be different. I figured they'd win 94 games, and I don't know where I came with that number. I just kind of pulled out of the hat. But
it might work.
I figured that their offense would be the best in the National League, and right now it's about National League average. They've been really slumping the last couple of weeks, especially, and I think a lot of it has to do with the lineup that Matheny is putting out there. It just doesn't work to have Carpenter and Fowler in the lineup every day, and you got a guy like Jerko, who hardly ever plays, and he's probably the best offensive player, along with, of course, Martinez was having a good year, and of course, Pham is having a great year, but he's had some health issues. So you got to get him in the lineup every day and healthy, and then they'll be okay. But in all honesty, Fowler is the big problem on that team. You don't know where can you put him. He really shouldn't be playing every day.
Yeah, they're going to have to hopefully find a solution. The best, I guess, would be for Fowler. Carpenter, and boy, I'm not the only one in our area, that's for sure. And I know this has pretty much been his MO over the years. He takes pitches, but it drives me crazy, especially when he's not hitting. He gets one swing per AB.
Yeah, in all fairness, the umpires have missed a lot of calls, and I think I read somewhere that calls outside the strike zone, which were called strike on him, were higher than anybody. Maybe one other guy had worse luck as far as the umpires blowing calls, but he's just not aggressive enough. He's missing a lot of pitches, and and he gets hurt a lot. I'm not a real big fan of his anymore. He was great 5 years ago, but he's had a steady decline ever since. And the only saving grace about him, this really surprised me. He's a pretty good defensive third baseman and first baseman. He's really got good defensive metrics this year, which is really shocking to me.
But that arm or that shoulder, I'm not sure
Yeah,
what
he's got a bad throwing arm, but
yeah, he needs a cutoff man.
But he can catch the ball pretty well. I mean, he's got a pretty good range and all that kind of good stuff. But I think the only thing that saved the Cardinals this year really has been their starting pitching. This Lizard King, this Miles Michaelis guy, he's been awesome.
Yes.
And of course, up until the other day, Martinez has been lights out, and Wcxo's been solid. I think Wainwright will be okay once he gets healthy.
But Wcxo, and that's where I differ from you, I believe, in a lot of the starting pitching. Wcxo usually fades or gets hurt or whatever. And Wainwright, well, last year I picked him for 12, and I think that's what he ended up with. I know he was hurt, but of course that's part of the situation. He's 36 and whatever. Just to me, you can't count on a couple of those guys. And even Weaver, as much as I love him, and I think he's going to be a real. I mean, he's shown a few cracks here as of late too.
He started out great, and then he just kind of fell off the map. It sounds like what happened to him, So I'm thinking maybe he might need to go down to AAA to get his whatever it is back, his mojo or whatever. But they've got a lot of pitching on the horizon. Reyes is
that's the
guy
guy
now, or AAA now. I think he'll be coming back pretty soon, and
I believe he's just
Flaherty down there. And he's good.
Reyes is just getting set to go down to throw, isn't he?
Yeah,
not in AAA.
Brett Cecil. Brett Cecil, who of course everybody seems to think is terrible. He wasn't that bad last year. I mean, I think his ERA was like 3.88 or something like that.
After a rugged start.
But yeah, he had a terrible start. Of course, they lost a lot of games, and he was kind of the GOAT. And to this day, the fans still blame him for all kinds of things and think he's terrible. But I think he'll be okay. They really need him. They need a good left-handed guy come in situationally in late innings, get left-handed batters. I think he might be the guy to do that. So that'll be helpful when he comes back. So basically, they've got the talent to win the division. They still do, and they just need to get everybody healthy.
Holland,
and maybe get everybody in the lineup that needs to be in the lineup, and not have the high-paid free agent Fowler. They just say, hey, you know what, Dex? You're the fourth outfielder now. What's he going to do?
I get it that too. I wouldn't, if I were the man, I wouldn't worry about that money either. I mean, you're going to pay him either way. I want to get the guys out there who can win. But maybe
you can't let the money dictate.
No.
Who's going to start.
No,
that seems to be what Matheny's been doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it's from above. Who knows? But Holland, will he become their closer? The last part of last year, he kind of tailed off, but otherwise for 3 or 4 years, he's been really good. Man, when you skip spring training, it's been shown with other guys too.
Yeah,
that is not easy. You got to have it. That's why it's 6 weeks long for the pitchers.
I think he'll be okay once he gets acclimated and gets himself in shape and whatnot. I think he'll be okay. Maybe not quite as good as he was last year. The closing situation is still kind of dicey. Maybe this Hicks will end up being the closer long term with this 102-mile-an-hour fastball he's got.
He's enjoyable to watch.
And Norris has been effective. Of course, I guess he's got a bad something on his shoulder or something, doesn't he?
Something.
What's he got?
I don't know what it is for sure. It's hard to keep track of, honestly.
Oh yeah, triceps tightness. That's what it is. It says unknown if he's available for against the Padres, but I don't know. They'll weather the storm. It's a long season. I think once they get everybody healthy, they'll be okay.
Boy,
I think they'll still win the division.
I suddenly had a flashback to Bruce Sutter and Eck and Lee Smith. Oh my goodness, dominant! I love that.
The funny thing was Sutter really didn't have that great of a season in '82. That's the funny thing about it. I mean, he came in, made a lot of saves, but as far as statistically speaking, he was just barely above average. I mean, people don't realize that. He was a World Series hero and everything, but I don't know.
But overall, I'll take his career. And Lee Smith would just man those bullets. Wow, that's the kind of stuff I love.
Well, yeah, in my opinion, Lee Smith was a better reliever than Bruce Sutter. Bruce Sutter gained notoriety because of the split finger fastball, and he had such great success primarily with the Cubs first, and then of course won the World Series with the Cardinals. That's probably why got him in the Hall of Fame. But in all honesty, I think Lee Smith was better than Sutter for his career. Had a lot more saves. Sutter kind of fell off the map when he left St. Louis.
Yeah, true. What are the Cardinals going to do behind the plate? Of course, Molina is out. Oh, you talk about a hit. 4, 5, 6
I think
weeks.
you got to. Yeah, that's going to be that's a tough blow because psychologically, I think the team is so much better with him in there. Even if he doesn't produce that much, he's not quite the defensive force he was, a few years ago. But he's just such a leader on the field. He frames pitches so well and all that good stuff. And he was having a great year offensively too, which was kind of surprising. But yeah, him being out for a month or so is going to hurt. But I think they can hang in there. I think you've got to go with Kelly primarily.
I do too.
Most of the time to see what he's got.
Toss him out. And honestly, I'm sure we differ on this, but I would have never, ever given Molina that contract that he has. What's he got, $20 more million a year for the next 2 years? He's going to be 36 in this. I would have went.
Yeah, he's got a couple more years to go. I kind of agree with you on that, actually. I mean,
okay.
He may have been overpaid. I think he may be a little, at this point of his career, maybe a bit overrated. He's not quite the player he was 5 years ago. Of course, who can be when you're getting up there and 36, 37 years of age. But
I would stick Carson Kelly out there all the time. If they don't, it's almost like they're afraid he will succeed.
I agree. You got to put him out there, even if it doesn't hit that much. I think defensively he's going to be excellent, and that's really the most important thing out of a catcher is defense.
Well,
but I think he'll hit.
Yeah, I mean.
He'll hit a little bit. I mean, Molina didn't hit much. Yadi didn't hit much when he first came up. He was a terrible hitter
for a long time. He
did
make himself into a good hitter. Much like in a different way, but Ozzie Smith the same.
Yeah,
situation.
The same with Ozzie. Yeah, same thing.
Kelly's got to get the nod out there because Pena's not. He's no way is he a long-term answer, but.
Yeah, he's a backup. So you got to say, well, Yadi's out, so now you got Carson. So let's go with him.
Larry.
So I don't know why.
Larry Underwood is with us. He's a St. Louis native. He lives out there in the Valley of the Sun now. Let's see, the newest Cardinals Hall of Famers are now known. I was, not much happened Friday night, but I was over at Busch Friday night, and it was pretty cool, at least the introduction. Langford and Coleman are in. What do you think of those two? I mean, this was a really, I'll give him this. This was a really good class. Nominees.
I mean, I love Langford. He had a great career, very underrated. I'm glad he finally got in. I mean, as much as I love Willie McGee, Langford was better than McGee. And I know people say, well, how can you say that? Just look at his numbers. Look at his overall career numbers, his OPS plus, that kind of thing. Langford was one of the better players in Cardinal history.
He was.
So yeah, he definitely belongs in the Hall. But he had the misfortune of playing on some pretty bad teams, back in the 90s. They weren't very good. They won the one division in 96, and but primarily the Cardinals were also Rans when he was on the team. And of course, when McGee was on the team, they won a World Series and made another couple of appearances. So in '82, Willie. In Game 3 of the '82 World Series.
That was remarkable.
he became a folk hero like that instantly. And then he had the '85 season where he's most valuable player. But over his career, it's remarkable that actually Langford was a little bit better player, I thought.
Man, 5 20 seasons, 200 home runs, 200 steals. He did a lot. But Coleman,
just so underrated.
Coleman also went in the base popper there. He was outside of that tarp, he didn't have many bad nights, did he?
Yeah, I love Vincent Van Gogh. They could not run a tarp going 1.5 miles an hour.
Yeah,
that was something.
I was over there. Well, I wasn't in the stadium at the time. We were at a watering hole, but I remember coming in with obviously a bunch of fans, and the word started to filter out. No social media back then, and everybody this is a joke, right?
I couldn't believe it.
No, I did. Actually, I don't vote for any of this because it's another story. But anyway, I have nothing really pressing against Coleman, although I would have went with Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, I think Keith Hernandez would be more deserving too than Coleman. Coleman basically was a terrific base stealer, but he wasn't that much of a hitter, and he was a terrible defensive outfielder. But yeah, he had charisma, and Cardinals, of course, made it to the World Series a couple times with him there. So. I loved him in '85. He was definitely the guy that was the catalyst of that team.
McGee and now Coleman, just a couple. But when you go back to center fielders, my guy still, I'm not old enough to have seen Terry Moore, but I watched enough of Kurt Flood, and he will always be. I mean, he was second best to Willie Mays. It's as simple as that. Wow. And he's the guy who got shunned because of what happened, of course. With the free agency, the suing, and all that, I understand a bit of that. But Flood, just as far as his playing days, tremendous.
Oh yeah, I mean, I used to just admire the way he would prepare himself before each pitch when he's out there in center field. He'd get down in that low crouch, and boy, he was ready to go either way. And I think he got a bad rap in the '80s in the '68 World Series in Game 7,
Right.
when Northrup hit that shot, and he kind of slipped, and then they blamed it on him for not being able to catch the ball. There was no way in the world he could have caught that ball, even if he hadn't slipped.
Yeah,
that ball was hit so hard, it was way over his head.
Man,
But
I can see that as
took the
plain as
rap.
day right now. I'm sure as you can, Larry. And what a great World Series, even though they fell to the Tigers, of course, in the year before to Boston. But wow, Larry Underwood with us for a few more minutes here on Talking Sports. And back to Molina, of course. He's destined for the St. Louis Hall in due time. You know, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
What is the waiting? There's not really an official waiting period, I think, for that. But anyway, he will be in there at some point. And
I think once he retires, all it takes.
Is
Once
that,
he retires,
is that how they're doing it now?
I think that's how they do it. I'm not sure.
You know who my guy is there? As far as my number one catcher, Simba.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
I mean, when you
I
throw
love
overall, he was underrated as a catcher because he had Johnny Bench in front of him for one thing. I mean, my goodness, the best
Precisely.
of all time. He did a fine job behind the plate and hitting. Oh wow!
He wasn't a great defensive catcher, but people want to say he was a terrible defensive catcher. He wasn't. He was about average defensively, but he was so good hitting, and he was so durable. I mean, he used to catch 150, 155 games every year.
And a switch hitter. I mean, really, I'm surprised he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he, according to Baseball Reference, which ranked all the catchers, he was the 10th best catcher in baseball history.
My goodness.
And all the 9 in front of him are already in the Hall of Fame, and there are a bunch behind him that are in the Hall of Fame. He's vastly underrated, and that's one of the biggest Hall of Fame snubs.
And he's off the books there now, isn't he, Larry?
Oh yeah, I think he came within one vote of getting in with that Veterans Committee thing, you know, whatever they call it,
right,
from last year. I think he was one vote short of getting in. That's a travesty. He belongs in the Hall of Fame. I think someday he'll get there. But
when you look through all of those years you spent watching the Cardinals, and who could you pick out? Because I can. Your favorite all-time Cardinal?
Oh yeah, well, it'd be Bob Gibson for me.
It would be Gibby for you? Yeah. He's in my top 3, for probably second. My all-time would be Kenny Boyer.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. He probably was my original all-time favorite. I think Gibby may have supplanted him later on, but yeah, originally as a kid growing up, I even got the chance to meet Kenny in the Cardinal clubhouse when I was about 5, 6 years old. It was such a thrill.
He was one of my first autographs in 1962.
Oh man,
at
I
old
love
Sportsman's
Kenny.
Park. I was in back of the dugout. It seemed like for an hour and a half, and it wasn't that long. But he was talking to a reporter as my dad, but he finally signed and stuff. Yeah, number 14. He was. Hey, who's the team you most liked in St. Louis? Would you go back to the 60s or something later?
Yeah, I like the 67 team the best.
67.
You know, of course, they won the World Series and everything. But, you know, 64, I like that team because the way they finished. And, of course, Kenny Boyer was the MVP. And that was the pinnacle of his career. But I also like the 85 team. And I like the 04 team, even though they didn't do anything in the World Series.
Yeah, but that was a good squad, yeah.
And, of course, 2011 with that great finish they had in winning the World Series, that's always going to be a special place.
Yeah, mine would be, and I have it written down here, Larry. You wouldn't be. I have this. My 64 Cardinals will always be tops.
I
for
love
me.
64 Cardinals too. Yeah.
Yeah, 67 with their win over the Red Sox, and the 85 Cardinals. I like 04.
Yeah.
That was it was the Reds. The Red Sox were just really in charge there. But
they couldn't be stopped. They couldn't be stopped that year.
No, they couldn't have been really. But I don't know what's. Hey, who'd you have before the seasons? Did you make World Series picks too?
No, I don't go that far, but I did pick the Cardinals winning the division. I mean, that was about that's as far as I'm going to go. As far as the other teams go, I think the D-backs. I didn't think the D-backs were going to be that good this year. I thought they were going to miss J.D. Martinez. Bad, and it's a strange thing is they're winning on pitching. They have just unbelievable pitching.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And their offense hasn't clicked at all yet so far this year. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt's been in a real funk here lately. He can't buy a hit.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't driven He hasn't driven a run, I think, since the middle of April. He's had, I think, 1 RBI in the last 30 games or so, whatever it's been.
He was just dreadful when the Cardinals played them very, very, very early in the campaign. But
yeah. But they're still winning.
And we've got a long way to go. There are a lot of it's always, that's the thing. If you hit 150 even in July, it's not so noticeable. And so there are times to
early on, everybody notices everything. I mean, poor Colton Wong, he was taking a lot of heat from the fans because he was hitting like under 200 for a long time. I think now it's a little bit over 200. But people don't realize is he's having a terrific season with the glove.
He's a good defender. That's why I like him out there at second, yeah.
Yeah. People don't take that into consideration. Now both he and Harrison Bader both have a .08 D-WAR, which at this point in the season is unbelievable.
See, now
they're by far.
You lose me with that, but I understand. A lot of people, metrics, analytics, I just look, So it's really good for him anyway, huh?
I don't know how they figured it out. But they've got it figured out where defensive runs saved and all that kind of stuff. They figured out that if Bader played a full season, he's on a pace to save 66 runs defensively. That blows my mind.
Yeah,
now, of course, that's impossible. That's probably an impossible pace to keep. But that just shows how good he's been in limited play. And Wong is on a pace to save 37 runs. Well, that's just as good as knocking in 37. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
I'm going to have to come up. I'm going to have to come up with some kind of a stat I can parlay to the major leagues. I see new ones all. Hey, finally, just give me who would it be for you to manage in their prime, Whitey or TLR?
Oh, I like Whitey. You said, the only thing my gripe against Whitey was in the '85 World Series after Game 6.
Oh,
he basically just said,
he did.
That's it.
That was one of his only two, which was about. He gave that up, and I don't care what they said about trading Hernandez, but they didn't have to give him up for a box of rocks.
Yeah, that was bad too.
To your own division, and that set up the Mets for years to come.
The Mets are great after that. He was their best player in '86 when they won the World Series. But I like both managers actually. I don't really have that much of a beef against Matheny as much as a lot of people do, except it irritates me that he doesn't put the right lineup on the field. I mean, people talk about his managing and double switching and this, that, and he doesn't manage the bullpen, blah blah blah. I just don't like his lineups. Now, if he just get his lineup straightened out, I'd be happy with him.
Get to the park early and fill that baby out for him. Hey, Larry, do you have we've got a roll, I guess, but do you have a book or two out, or at least one?
Well, I wrote one years ago. It's called St. Louis Cardinals IQ, the ultimate test of true fandom, which I wrote like 8 years ago. But then I wrote a second. Then I wrote a second volume that came out a couple of years after that. But they're both available on Amazon. But
and what's your Twitter handle? I of course we follow each other, but for those listening,
it's LAU lowercase LAU 56.
LAU 56. Easy to and if not, they can hook up with me and I can pass it along to them. So I guess we got to gun it, Larry. But thanks for coming on tonight. And,
it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Cardinals baseball, and surprisingly, we agree on most things, and so that wasn't any fun at all.
Well, the only thing we didn't agree on, I remember this was 4 years ago or whatever it was when we got Johnny Peralta. Oh. You hated that trade. You hated that signing.
I don't like those PED boys.
You called him Little Johnny this, Little Johnny that.
Well, I'm sure I've gotten worse. So,
but he's gone now though.
Oh, is he ever? Larry, appreciate it. We'll see you on Twitter.
Okay, Rip. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
From the desert, Larry Underwood, a Cardinals historian and a great love of baseball. Obviously, the flashback is due up next.
Companies are hiring again. That's good news. Bad news, you don't have the skills they're looking for. Kaskaskia College can fix that. KC's welding technology program can set you up with the skills industries are looking for. More good news, classes are available at KC's Trenton Center or Crisp Technology Center. Call Sean Morris at 545-3406. The demand is there, the pay is there. Where are you? Kaskaskia College, your future starts here.
Insuring your home and auto with Pekin Insurance equals a sizable discount. Farmers State Bank Insurance Department may save you as much as 30% on homeowners premiums and up to 15% on auto premiums if you insure both with Pekin Insurance. Call Farmers State Bank Insurance Department at 495-2965 for details about multi-policy discounts and learn what beyond the expected coverage and savings are all about.
Not a deposit, not FDIC insured, not insured by any federal government agency, not guaranteed by the bank, may go down in value.
When wearing contacts, you shouldn't even be able to feel them. If they're uncomfortable or feeling dry, come see us at Lebanon Optometric Center or Breeze Family Vision Center. We'll find the right contacts for you, whether it's multifocal, astigmatism, daily disposables, or hybrid lenses. Don't suffer through contacts that are just fine. We have all the major brands to choose from, and with locations in Breeze and Lebanon, if you damage or tear your contacts, we can replace them right away. Start seeing clearer today with a little help from Breeze Family Vision Center or Lebanon Optometric Center.
Kids love to see unique trucks and vehicles, so join us at K&J Chevrolet in Carlisle on Saturday, May 12th from 10 to 2 at the Touch-A-Truck event. The whole family will experience the opportunity to climb, sit, and explore heavy construction equipment, emergency vehicles, farm machinery, a helicopter, and more. This year, we will have a monster truck bounce house and refreshments available, compliments of the Special Olympics. This is a free event sponsored by K&J Chevrolet, just west of Carlisle on Old Route 50. K&J Chevrolet, your Clinton County Chevrolet and Silverado headquarters.
What were we thinking when we designed the station? I'll tell you. We were thinking it takes all sorts to make a world.
Max 96.7.
Back we are, ripping the Carlisle Meat Market Studio for this Wednesday night, where your time is 6:41. Let's skedaddle for the sports flashback.
It's flashback.
Get ready to flash back with the Easy In Travel Sports Flashback. Escape to paradise with Easy In Travel and Breeze. Call 526-2201.
Yep, skedaddle. Look it up, youngins. This is from August 23rd of last year's Aviston Aces manager Dennis Rockers on the beyond of his team's Clinton County Baseball League championship triumph.
Again, I can't say enough about the Germantown fans, Germantown team. The series was very cordial between both teams. It's a great fundraiser. I mean, the 50-50 and the hats were outstanding. I mean, to have a $500 hat is unbelievable.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that was – and everything at Aviston the other day, too. I know Germantown had real nice pregame ceremonies with three players from the 60 – I guess it was the 61 team that threw out first pitches. You had the same situation the other day. Let's see, we had a couple of Emmings and Vern Holtgrave, the old major leaguer. That was really cool.
Yeah, well, we had my dad, Jim Rockers, was on there. We had Laverne Holtgrave. I saw him at the breakfast, and he brought it up, so I had to make sure he came. And then Jerry Emming called me because he found out about it. And then Danny Emming was the bat boy, so I had to bring him out there. And then Joe Streaker's a Hall of Fame catcher, so I thought with all them Hall of Fame pitchers, we need a Hall of Fame catcher. And then my brother-in-law, Jerry Zellini, I figured he could catch Laverne. So so it was a good time. We had fun. We had the Fair Queen was out there.
Oh, yeah.
Horse and buggy. So we put on a little bit of a circus, and Steve Molly did a nice job with the God Bless America, the national anthem. And,
you bet.
And it was a good showing on all parts.
Listen to this incredible Mastercraft deal from Best One Tire and Service. Buy 3 select Mastercraft tires and get the 4th tire free. You heard right. Buy 3 select Mastercraft tires and the 4th tire is free. Includes the popular LSR Grand Touring, Corsair HSX Tour, and Mastercraft SRT Touring. Plus, fill out a Best One credit card app and get an oil change for just $19.95. Best One Tire and Service, 13912 Best One Drive in Breeze.
Mastercraft buy 3 get 1 free offer requires installation of Best One 1995 oil changes with Valvoline conventional oil up to 5 quarts. Oil disposal fee extra. See store for complete details.
Improve your vehicle's performance, extend its lifetime, and maintain resale value with the spring service special from Best One Tire and Service. Just $49.95 gets you a full service oil change, lubrication and filter, belts and hoses checked, battery and charging system checked, fluids checked and filled, new front wiper blades on most vehicles, a tread inspection and tire rotation, all for only $49.95. Make sure your vehicle is ready for spring and summer with Best One Tire and Service. 13912 Best One Drive in Breeze.
McKendree University is a great place to continue your sports career. It's also a great place to continue your education. McKendree offers a wide range of degrees, including master's degrees in business, nursing, education, and professional counseling. If you like, you can access McHenry's quality education through the flexibility of online degrees. To learn more about McHenry, log on to McHenryOnline.com or call 1-800-BEARCAT. McHenry University is ready when you are.
Planning a remodel or building a new home? Ideal Home Solutions in Trenton can get you started. Ideal Home Solutions has quartz, granite, solid surface, and laminate, with granite starting at just $49 per square foot. Ideal Home Solutions proudly sells Haas cabinets and specializes in custom showers, any size to fit your space. From tubs, whirlpools, vanity tops, windowsills, you're covered. Schedule a free in-home estimate today, 224-2500, or see their showroom at 102 West Broadway in Trenton.
Remember what it was like to expect the unexpected?
I never realized it was so complex.
Guess what? The feeling's back.
You're on Max.
Hello again, folks. Rip here in the Carlisle Meat Market Studio for this Wednesday night. I want to remind you about Diane Chevrolet in Trenton. Diane has your next pre-owned car, truck, SUV, whatever you decide on, at the right price. And all pre-owned vehicles pass a thorough inspection. Most come with Diane's exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty at no cost to you. You cannot beat that. See Dwayne, Nikki, Dave, Nathan, whomever at 224-9200 as well. You can buzz them at 224-9200. Or, shop or schedule service at DianeChevrolet.com. Diane Chevrolet is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Terry Calvert is just around the bend.
Even the best drivers have an occasional mishap, from fender benders to serious auto accidents. Beacon Insurance and your local agency, Benhoff Insurance in Breeze and Trenton, keep you protected with an auto insurance policy that covers a wide range of mishaps. And you'll save money too with multi-car and multi-policy discounts, as well as good student, hybrid auto, and mature driver savings opportunities. Find out more about an affordable auto policy from Beacon Insurance. Call Benhoff Insurance in Breeze and Trenton at 526-4888.
Seaver Brothers has what you're looking for. Take a spin with Seaver Brothers and drive home in your new or pre-owned Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Dodge truck today. Let Seaver Brothers give you the car buying experience that no other dealership can offer. Seaver Brothers stands behind their products and also has an outstanding service department with qualified technicians to keep your vehicles running strong. Stop by Seaver Brothers, 811 Washington Street in Carlisle, or call 594-2624 for your next Seaver Brothers sales associate.
This broadcast is a presentation of Wcxo Sports. Wcxo Sports is brought to you by the Benhoff Insurance Agency in Breeze and Trenton, Breeze Dental Care, K&J Chevrolet, Reverman Chiropractic and Spinal Rehabilitation and Breeze Motor Sales, Southern Bus and Mobility, Kaskaskia College, the First National Bank of Carlisle, Reekman Brothers John Deere, St. Joseph Hospital Breeze, Med Plus Physical Medicine and Brett's Wildlife Lodge, State Farm Insurance Agent Steve Klosterman and Hardy's locations in Breeze and Carlisle, Breeze Family Vision, Tempo Bank, Country Financial representatives Keith Wilkin and Teresa Richards, and Area CC Food Marts. WCXO Sports since 1999. The sports voice of the Carlisle Indians, the Central Cougars, the Mater Dei Knights, the Westland Warriors, and now the Christ Our Rock Silver Stallions.
Do you mind if I turn on the radio?
The music is great and it doesn't cost anything.
It's Max 96.7.
And we return for a final time tonight. Rip here in the Carlisle Meat Market Studio. Let's touch base with the Tucker Electric guest line for Westland Lady Warriors soccer coach Terry Calvert. Terry, welcome back.
Thank you, Rip.
And you return as a lopsided winner at the 1A Central Regionals. You struck down the Salem Lady Cats by a baker's dozen last night.
Yeah, that's right. Our girls came out and played strong, and we'd played them earlier in the year, and we knew that if we could get up on them early, this would be tough for them to keep their morale. And we did just that. We came out and we put some goals on them, and we just kept it on them. Our girls kept playing hard all the way to the end.
And you flattened them 10-zip early. And I guess it's Salem. I mean, just one of those years, off year. I know you're young too, but are they pretty young club?
Yeah, I think they are, and they've got some girls that are really athletic and work hard, and they're just trying to put it together over there. You know, they're new to the conference, and they worked hard. It's just they're got some developing to do.
Right. It'll come for them again. 4 of your girls netted 2 or more goals. Your daughter, Tori, lit it up with, well, she had the hat trick.
That's right. Yep, she's had a good season, and we have her up top, and she finishes a lot. Our girls work hard to get her the ball, but they spread the love, so to speak, yesterday. There was a lot of girls scoring goals, and they were passing the ball well and, finishing when they had their opportunities.
Was your goalkeeper, Lydia Shortfighty, was she at all busy? Did the Cats have, Lady Cats, any shots on goal?
No, there were no shots on goal. We did pass back to her a couple times just to keep her awake back there, and got her the ball. And
she called for that, huh?
Distribute a little bit. Yeah. She asked at halftime if we could do that for her, so we got it back to her. And
she counted those as saves, probably.
Yeah, probably in her own book, she probably did.
And now, is it the record 17-6 and still going?
That's right, 17-6.
And the overall play has just been. I mean, it's been great throughout, but even in recent times here, you've been dominant toward the end of the campaign too. When you scrap the loss at Belleville West against that large school, that's been the only bump in the road lately.
Yeah, we've won 13 of our last 15, and like you said, Belleville West was a tough one, and we even hung tight with them up until the very end. We only had one sub that game. Some girls had some prior obligations. That was a rescheduled game. So we only had one sub, and 11 minutes left in the game. It was still 2-0. I was very proud of our girls for hanging in there.
Well,
Belleville West was subbing 5 and 6 girls at a time, and we just hung in there and kept working.
You definitely drained Althoff to the bitter end too.
Yeah, we came out and got an early lead against them, and then they got 3 quick ones on us in the first half. It was up 3-1 at halftime. We got another one. We just couldn't put another one away. We were hitting them at their goal, and we just couldn't get it in.
Of your 6 losses, quickly I scanned, I believe all but 2 of them were by one goal. And so even in defeat, you were right there on the doorstep.
Yeah, we've got a couple of big losses to Columbia as well. They're a powerhouse, and unfortunately a small school. But yeah, our girls, every game that we should have won, really we have won, especially recently, like you mentioned, and they're just putting it together at the right time.
Again, you were in the 1A Central Regional, and it was Central again. Roxana tonight. I saw an early score. Roxana, the Shells were whiffing the Cougars 4-11 at halftime, and I would imagine they closed that one out.
Yeah, we were at that game, and we stuck around till it was 5-0 with about 20 minutes left, and it does appear that we're going to be playing Roxana on Friday evening, and we haven't played them this year. We've got some common opponents, which suggest that we're going to be a really close game. We handled common opponents very similarly. So we're going to have to come out with everything we've got to win this regional.
And that will be Friday.
That's right, 4:30 over at Central.
That will be Friday. And the other team in Breeze, across from the Cougars, is Mater Dei, and the Lady Knights. I know they won last night. They're at Marquette, correct?
Yes, they are. I think they played Father McGivney, and they've got to travel a little bit just because of their ranking. But they got their hands full with an Alton Marquette team that's really good.
Alton Marquette, Columbia, yeah. This Faith, and I think it's Rackers, isn't it? Rackers, but she's another goal scoring machine. She's setting some records as a sophomore over at MD, isn't she?
I suppose. I don't follow her too close. I know that when we played against them, we definitely keep an eye on her because we see her stats. But since we've played them, I haven't watched it, but I know she does score some goals. She's an athletic girl.
Yeah, and that was early in the campaign when you squared off with them. And I know I know she has some goals, assists, and so forth, where she's really high up on the charts for Mater Dei anyway. So I want to get back to the latest with your players in a minute, but just a little bit. Yeah, Columbia. They're the top dog in the Cahokia and so forth, but the conference you finished second at 3-1, just that one stride behind the Eagles.
That's right. Yeah. Columbia had us there too. Columbia is one of the best schools, big or small. They beat a lot of the big schools. They're really a powerhouse over there. I give them a lot of credit. They work hard with the youth program and they get lots of numbers, and they use that and they succeed.
And whoever comes out of this Breeze Central Regional will chalk a trip up to the Columbia Sectional, and then they host the Super too. So, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
What about let's go back to your goalkeep in Lydia. Her season in its entirety, 11 shutouts and the 16 victories. You don't get much steadier than that.
No, she's doing a really good job, and Lydia has not played soccer for like 6 years, and our starting goalie from last year had hip surgery right before the season.
I remember you telling me that earlier, I believe. I'm not sure if you listed the injury.
Kaylee Tyler's a great goalie. Yeah, and so Lydia stepped up for us and has done a really, really good job. We're super proud of her. She's got 11 shutouts, but she's had several of those shutouts where we haven't given up a shot, and, we attribute that to our defense. Elena Fridley and Abby Norberry in the middle really shut it down a lot of times, and they just prevent any shots, which, goalie's best friend, is
right.
A couple of defenders that will shut down shots.
Yeah, like a double play in baseball. That's really, and those defenders, defense period a lot of times in several sports goes overlooked a little bit. You got to have it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention in our game against Salem, Sydney Christopher set the record for our school in assists, which is something to be very proud of. It's a very unselfish stat. Of course, an assist is something that you do when you pass the girl that scores, and it takes a lot of unselfishness, and that's the kind of player she is. She has 24 assists, which is second in the area, and it's our school record.
School record, just over one a game. And not only that, though, of course, she cranks in the goals, too, doesn't she, with 21?
Oh, absolutely. She can score when we need her to score, too. There's no doubt about that. She has 21 goals and 24 assists, which is very balanced. That's what you want as a player, as a midfielder especially. She does a great job.
And Tori has jacked in 33 counters, 16 assists, and there's Claire Grinke at 16 and 12. That's a wicked trio.
It really is, and Galena Stewart is on the other wing, and she has her fair share of goals and assists on the season, too.
Sure does.
Those four up there are an offensive attack that's tough to deal with.
And I just tossed out about Salem. I'm not completely sure either about the makeup class-wise, but you have a very young club. I mean, your leading scorers are freshmen and sophomores. And then Claire's a senior, I know, but the top two anyway.
Yeah, that's right. We have 4 seniors, but we have no juniors on the team playing right now. So next year we'll have, I think it's 7 sophomores, 8 sophomores, depending on who decides to come back. And we'll really look forward to building with that, with the kind of crew that we have right now. And then we have an 8th grade class that may be our best class in a long time.
Whoa.
There's a lot of promising 8th graders that play a lot of soccer year round. My assistant coach's daughter is coming up to play, and then Sydney Christopher's younger sister, Avery Christopher, is going to be on the team. And then we've got other 8th graders as well. Galena Stewart, who I mentioned earlier, her younger sister, Alana Stewart, is going to play. And we're just going to build from there. We're really looking forward to the future.
They might as well give you a long-term contract right now.
I'm hoping so.
So did you get an early practice in tonight? And I'm sure you'll go again tomorrow, too, and prep for Friday's regional championship.
That's right. After practice today, we went out and practiced for just over an hour, and then we headed over to Central to watch our opponents play to see who we're going to play and see what we could learn from them. And, tomorrow we'll go out and hit a light practice and try to prepare, use what we learned tonight and apply it and see if we can't come out and beat Roxanne on Friday and get our second regional title in a row, 2 years in a row.
Friday's first kick, 4:30?
That's right, 4:30.
4:30. Well, the best of luck in that, baby. Love to see you making an appearance to Columbia after that and take your chances. What a good season you've had again over at Trenton Westland. Thanks for coming on, Terry. I think we lost Terry, but that was right at the goodbye period anyway. But we appreciate Terry Calvert coming on tonight to give us the update on the Westland Lady Warriors, and Larry Underwood from the Phoenix area on Cardinals baseball. Could go a long time with him, too. Saturday morning, we'll return. One of our guests is locked and loaded Clinton County Baseball League the commish, Ken Hazelhorst, and we'll revisit this again come Monday, but want to mention again, thanks to Larry Johnson from Royal Hoffman. He was the winner of Mother's Day Trivia this past Saturday. He collected some nice items for his wife, who happens to be a mom, Lisa. This is what he got again. In review, a blooming plant from Town & Country Florist and Judy over in Breeze. From Brett's Wildlife and Sandy, a $25 gift card. Carla at Designs Unlimited Salon and Spa and Breeze chipped in with $40 worth of product, and a $25 gift card was also summoned from the Crescent Moon and Christie's. So that's all worth, $110, $120 in there. So we want to thank our sponsors again. We'll try and do so Saturday, too. Town & Country Florist & Breeze, Brett's Wildlife, Lodge and Winery in Carlisle, Designs Unlimited Salon and Spa and Breeze, and the Crescent Moon in Carlisle. I'm quite sure Lisa Johnson is a happy camper. Thanks to our sponsor, and congrats to Larry, who got in first with the correct answer on Saturday. That's going to put a bow on this baby. We'll see you Saturday morning between 9 and 10 on Talking Sports. Real Sports Talk on Max 96.7 WCXO.
Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7 was powered by Hoffman Supermarket, the only choice for quality meats and friendly service. Talkin' Sports was brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan and Centralia. Kaskaskia College, the future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City and Hoyleton. Diane Chevrolet in Trenton. McKendree University in Lebanon. Ideal Home Solutions in Trenton. Farmers State Bank Insurance Department in Hoffman. Seaver Brothers in Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers, with locations in Breeze and Highland, and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Thank you for joining us for this WCXO sports presentation of Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7.